Alright guys, what's up? Jacob here, JK Productions. So the season's set and done with. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl on Sunday, obviously 38-35 over the Eagles. And now we're going to start to turn its off-season mode, looking at draft analysis, looking at free agent analysis. But before we do all of that, before a single free agent's been signed, before a single trade's been finalized, all I think we have to work here really is head coaching hirings. But for this video, that's not going to matter as much. We're going to take a look at who are going to be the favorites going into next season. Starting first and foremost, of course, with these two teams that we just had in front of us, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, the most notable player that looks like he might be leaving is Jason Kelce. They had to throw a lot of money at him to convince him to come back this offseason and to go and play this season with the Eagles. If I had to guess, at the time of recording, I don't know anything. If I had to guess, I think he's going to retire. As of now, there's been nothing announced. If you guys notice, I'm wearing the same shirt from yesterday. It's because I'm going to be a busy man on Valentine's Day. So we're not going to be able to record. I'm sorry if anybody's out there and going to be lonely on Valentine's Day. It is what it is. That was a little mean. I'm sorry. But the Eagles, I think the Eagles are going to be able to come back just as strong as they did this last season. They do lose their offensive coordinator, all but likely lose their offensive coordinator to become the new head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Stop me if you heard that happen once before after a Super Bowl. And then you have the Kansas City Chiefs. They proved that without Tyreek Hill, they can move off from him, completely change up the offense to where they spread the ball out a lot more. Obviously, still Travis Kelce's the main focal point, but get the ball to Juju, Valdez-Scantling, McCole Hardman before he goes down, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney got in the end zone yesterday on Sunday. They were not on the team last year. Juju not on the team. Valdez-Scantling not on the team. Completely changed over their wide receiving core, and it worked. Who knows who their wide receiver core ends up being next year? Some of these guys are on one-year deals and could potentially move on to other teams, but they proved that they can pick and pull guys from the league and be effective. And especially if you find like a veteran guy who's coming towards the end of his career, maybe a Julio Jones, who they just want a ring. They've earned their money, they've had their status, but now they just want to go get a ring. There's a lot of guys they could go find out there that are going to be ring chasing. And if you're the Chiefs, who cares? If you just get the most talented team possible, that's the most ideal way to go. Cheap wide receivers, cheap talented players, especially with the money that Patrick Mahomes is going to be earning. So obviously, both those teams are without a doubt still going to be there. But then let's start to look down the ladder a little bit. Starting with the first thing I'll bring up, the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, I am a little concerned. I am a little concerned about how the Buffalo Bills are going to be going forward. They are now getting into Josh Allen's contract. He's going to be earning a lot of money. Stephon Diggs is earning a lot of money. Von Miller is earning a lot of money. There's a lot of money invested into just a few guys, and they've lost Brian Dable, going to the coach of the New York Giants, and they got to the same exact spot as Dable did as the Giants head coach, with a lot less talent, with a lot less money spent, with a worse quarterback. They got to the same exact spot in the playoffs. Got embarrassed just as bad as the Giants did against the Eagles. I am concerned about how they're going to add to this team. They have draft picks, and if they draft well, which they have proved they can draft very well, that is the most likely avenue. But I think the Bills are going to take a little bit of a drop off, and you're going to see those other three teams in the AFC East. It's going to be as competitive as a division as it has been in a long time, because the Bills obviously have dominated that division for a long time now. So I am concerned about the Buffalo Bills. I think the Chargers are going to only get better. I want to believe. I've put so much eggs into this basket before. I think the Broncos can turn this around and come back. Getting Sean Payton, giving him a lot of money, giving up the first round, the second round, and the fourth, I believe it was, to get him is a lot. That is certainly not. It's not nothing. That's certainly something. But to go out and get one of the best available coaches in the league. No, the best available coach in the league. Not one of the best available coaches in the league. If anybody's going to be able to fix Russell Wilson, I believe that it's going to be him. Will it happen? Yes, that remains to be seen. They're going to be able to still add to this team in the offseason, but I think the Broncos are going to come and be dangerous. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, another year under his belt, another offseason under his belt. A lot of people have already forgotten. They went out and got Calvin Ridley. So they're going to have Calvin Ridley. They can try to bring back Evan Ingram. He's going to want a lot of money. He was only on a one-year deal with them. Christian Kirk. The rushing game definitely needs to be a focus because, what's his name? was it? I forgot their running back's name. Jeez, that's embarrassing. But he's not really between the tackles rusher, and he very much thrives in an open space. And I'm still trying to think of his name, and I still can't think of his name. I'm just well prepared, clearly. But I think they're going to come back next year and certainly win that division. And Trevor Lawrence is only going to get better. So this is a team that next season, they could be a team that fights for a Super Bowl. They could be a team that fights to represent the AFC. The AFC is only getting stronger. The Miami Dolphins, Tua being the quarterback there still is not my favorite decision by them. I think they should have tried to move on for a Derek Carr. I think Tom Brady would have come to the Miami Dolphins if they offered it up to him. If they were willing to move off of Tua and bring him in, I think he would have taken it and not retired, because he's now going to be close to his family, which is living down in Miami. Giselle and the kids are down there. And then you only really have to make decisions on Gesicki, Ogba. There's a few smaller free agents, but you have Tyreek Hill under contract. You have Jalen Waddle under contract. On the other side, Jalen Phillips, Xavier Howard, Javon Holland. All these guys are under contract for multiple years. You go out and bring in Bradley Chubb. Now just the quarterback position is the biggest need alongside of offensive line. If they do assess that, Miami Dolphins are going to be dangerous next year. The AFC is so strong. The Bengals, the Ravens. A lot of teams in the AFC I love. So it's a very broad picture, not just who's going to represent them, just who's going to make the AFC playoffs in general. You're going to see a very talented team miss the playoffs next year in the AFC. The NFC is a picture that's easier to paint. 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles. See what the Giants do in the offseason. The NFC South was the worst division in football. The NFC, it's the 49ers division to lose. They're going to be able to get Brock Purdy back healthy. They're going to be able to get Trey Lance back healthy. Likely let Jimmy Garoppolo walk. I'm just going to say it now. I think they're going to make the Super Bowl next year. I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to finally make it back to the Super Bowl next year. I really love what I saw from the Eagles. Don't get me wrong. They're incredibly talented team. Jalen Hurts has developed very well. But the 49ers fully healthy, I think that game goes a little bit different in the NFC Championship game. Look out for the Giants. They're a few pieces away from really competing, and who would have thought? They got to the divisional round this year. They're going to lock up Daniel Jones for probably like a 3 or 4 year deal, $30 million-ish, bring back Saquon Barkley, and then add to that receiving core, add to that defense, add to the offensive line. They have the money to spend. They have the picks to spend, and they're going to. I fully believe they're going to assess their deficiencies and be a force next year. The NFC East is going to be incredible next season. That might be the best division in all of football. It was the best division of football this year. I see no reason that the NFC East wouldn't be the best division of football again next year. But the NFC, I do have the 49ers representing. Going back over to the AFC, man, you can chalk it up to so many teams as who it's going to be. The Chiefs, the Bengals, the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Bills. I think the Super Bowl, my early 2023-2024 Super Bowl prediction, I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're going to add to the defense, add to the secondary. They're going to get healthier back on the offensive line. I think that if they had a fully healthy offensive line, they beat the Chiefs. They're down Lyle Collins and 2 other starters on the offensive line. So my Super Bowl prediction for next year in Las Vegas, I believe, San Francisco and the Cincinnati Bengals. Let me know in the comments down below, who do you think are going to make the Super Bowl next year? Make sure to like, subscribe. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.